A new law is making it tougher for some local daycares to keep quality teachers in classrooms to help your children develop.
Action News Jax Letitia Barriola investigates how government regulation is having unintended consequences.
All you have to do is look up there and you'll figure out exactly where you put it.
Deborah Sanders has 20 years of childcare experience. She's always had a special bond with kids. It's what she loves to do.
Can you gather all the pencils for Miss Deborah?
But a recent snag in her hiring process plucked her right out of the classroom, severing the bond she created with her students.
I started here. The children love me. I'm sorry. And I love the children. So I didn't want to start a new job.
In Florida, child care workers are allowed to work as long as their local and state background checks are cleared. But in 2016, an additional requirement was added. People who've lived outside Florida within the past 5 years must provide background checks from each state they've lived. If Florida doesn't get that information within 45 days, they're out. No excuses. That's what happened to Deborah Sanders. Despite her efforts to speed up the process in Texas, she was let go on day 45 from Chappelle Schools.
I was calling every day. I called several times. I emailed several times.
I got a hold of one of those emails from the state of Texas to Sanders dated March 18th. It states, as of today, we're currently processing checks for December 2nd, 2018. That's 90 days behind. Sanders says the children end up suffering the most.
Once they get used to you and you get used to them, you learn their personalities, you learn the parents. You don't want to leave.
The CEO of Chappelle Schools, Nancy Dreiser, told me she's had to let go of too many good caregivers because of slow, out-of-state background checks.
It's hard right now. It's a great economy, so it's hard to hire people in childcare. And we want people who love children and love childcare. And here we have one, and we had to send her home.
Dreiser is hoping the state can find a simple workaround to keep qualified good workers in place and a classroom intact while those background checks are being done.
Absolutely, we're pro background checks. We don't want people in here who haven't been thoroughly background checks, but it's just the red tape, and why can't we have an extension?
Sanders' Texas results eventually came back clean. She says it took about 100 days.
She was like, when can you start? So I was ready to start the next day, and I did.
She's happy now to be back in the classroom and rebuilding that bond with her kids.
I've reached out to the state of Florida to find out if something can be done for daycares wanting to retain a worker while the background checks are made. We'll bring you the response as soon as we get it. In the studio, Letitia Barriola, CBS 47, Action News Jax.